Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Anu and this is Just Saying with Anu. Today marks the very first episode of Simply Reviews. In this segment, I will be dissecting the good, the bad, and the in-between, layer by layer. A quick warning though, this review will contain spoilers, so proceed with caution. And remember, this is just my opinion. It is not intended to hurt or discredit anyone involved with this production. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I also love to hear your thoughts if you have a different perspective or you feel I missed something very important. Feel free to drop a comment. Now let's get into it. Today's reviews, which is Sunset Vibes. Sunset Vibes follows the story of Sailing, a young man that's been haunted by a recurring dream of a mysterious figure all his life. Every full moon, Sailing dreams of a man dressed in traditional Thai clothing, always accompanied by the intoxicating scent of a night-blooming jasmine. However, as his 18th birthday approaches, the man suddenly vanishes from his dreams and from Sailing's life. Years later, Sailing, now an intern at the company's Soul Jewelry, crosses paths with CEO Sun Suryan, the man who has once existed only in his dreams. This show stars Moss and Bank, a duo previously seen in Big Dragon, taking on the lead roles. Now let's get into the breakdown. The writing. While the adaptation stays true to the original work in terms of plot, it falls flat when it comes to maturity. The original work is meant for a mature audience, but this series leans heavily into fluff. A notable example is the first meeting between Sun and Cillian at the hotel, something portrayed in a way that's unsettling and should have been normalized. The story had potential, but ended up being far too light for the themes it tried to convey. The characterization. The characters lacked depth, their personalities were shallow, and no significant growth was achieved over the course of the series. The cast was well chosen, but their portrayals leaned towards puppy love rather than the confident, mature energy we expected, especially for Sun, who should have embodied a more assured zaddy persona. Side characters like Sam and Yo were underutilized, and Sam in particular was refreshing but got only a few scenes, a missed opportunity for sure. For the screenplay, the pacing was slow and the plot was pretty predictable. It felt like we were just waiting for things to happen rather than being surprised and engaged. The romance. Despite the script's shortcomings, the romance was portrayed quite well. The chemistry between Moss and Bank was palatable and they made their intimate moments feel real and emotional. The kiss scenes were well executed, adding to the heat between their characters. But on the other hand, for the side characters, or like the side couples, the romance kind of fell flat, even though it could have been much more. Especially, the romance between Sam and Yo would have been a hit, if only they had given them more scenes. Now for the theme. The show marketed itself as a blend of romance and the supernatural. But the supernatural element felt seriously underdeveloped. There was so much potential to explore the supernatural side, which could have added a lot more depth to the story. Instead, it felt more like a typical office romance with barely any supernatural intrigue. The dialogue. Cringeworthy is the best way to describe some of the dialogue in this series. At times, it felt forced, which only heightened the overall disappointment in the writing. Production. Visually, the show was stunning. The cinematography, the locations, the casting choices, and the wardrobe were top-notch, providing a visual treat for the audience. This was one of the strongest points of the show. The soundtrack was excellent. I would actually recommend adding it to your playlists. It fit the mood of the show perfectly and added an extra layer of emotion that the story sometimes lacked. And in conclusion, The actors did their best with what they were given, but unfortunately the script let them down. If you're a fan of Moss and Bank, or have run out of other shows or series to watch, you might give this a try. However, I won't recommend it based on expectations of a thrilling mature romance. It was mostly a disappointment that didn't live up to the hype. So that's it for my review of Sunset Vibes. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Don't forget to comment below your thoughts, and I will see you in the next episode of Simply Reviews. Bye!